In today's lesson, I'm going to teach you 8 different intros that you can use on both major and minor key tunes, so pick up your guitar and let's do this. Greetings jazz guitar gurus, my name is Jamie Holroyd. I am the founder of jamieholroydguitar.com, which is a blog, video lessons and podcast all geared to helping you become a better jazz guitar player. In today's lesson we are going to be talking about intros that you can use on jazz standards. There's going to be a combination of both major and minor key intros that you can use on any tune that you're working on or any tune that you know. So without further ado, let's get into this. The first intro that I'm going to be teaching you is the 1-6-2-5 chord progression. 1-6-2-5. So in the key of C major, that's a C major 7 for half a bar, A minor 7 for half a bar, D minor 7 for half a bar, and G7 for half a bar. So in time that would sound like this. So that's a little vamp that you can use for any major key tune. That'll work just fine, really. So a common variation that you'll see on this is the 6th chord can also be a dominant 7 chord type. So if we're thinking diatonic to C, we've got C major, A minor, but we sometimes see the 6 being a dominant 7. So the 6 being a dominant 7 will sound like this. So it's a slightly different sound. You can use whichever one that you prefer, really. So why is this substitution used? Well, because if you make this 6th chord into a dominant 7, that's giving us a nice 5-1 cadence into D minor, right? And typically when you have a 5-1 cadence in jazz, the 5 chord is always dominant going to 1 chord right there. So basically this 6th chord now has a secondary function. It's both the 6th chord in the key of C, but it's also the 5 chord in D minor. So that's intro number 1, is the major 1-6-2-5. Intro number 2 is the minor 1-6-2-5. So as you probably guessed, that's just like the major 1-6-2-5, but it's minor. There is, however, a few variations to this though. So first of all is that the first chord is actually a minor 7 rather than a major 7. The second one is that the 6th chord is a flat 6. So in our major 1-6-2-5 we had an A minor 7 or an A dominant 7. This time we typically get an A flat 7. So we have 1-6, which is kind of a darker sound which suits minor keys a little bit better. Then the 2 chord will be a minor 7 flat 5, and then the 5 chord will be a G7, usually an altered G7. Here I'm playing a G7 flat 13. So let's take a listen to the sound of the minor 1-6-2-5. So there I went into a bit of Softly as in a Morning Sunrise, which is of course in C minor, just so you could hear how that might work to set that kind of tune up right there. So intro number 2 is the 1-6-2-5, the minor 1-6-2-5. A slight variation you see to this one is that sometimes instead of the 6th chord, you might get a flat 3 major 7. So in the key of C, a flat 3 major 7 is an E flat major 7. So that gives you this type of sound. In comparison to So both are viable options, and you can use whichever one of those you prefer for a minor key tune. So that's intro number 2, is the minor 1-6-2-5. And guys, as you're watching this, let me know in the comment section, what is your favourite intro out of all the ones that we talk about? I'm curious to know, and also if I miss any out, then also please let me know in the comment section below this video. The third intro we're going to be looking at is another minor key intro. This time we're in the key of D minor, and we're going to be going up a tone. So we've now got one bar of D minor, to E minor. Alright, so this is a little bit more refreshing and a bit less predictable than the 1-6-2-5. So that's basically a very simple 2-chord intro. It's almost got like a so what modal feel to it, certainly because I'm using these 4th voicings. That's certainly helping that one out to give that modal feel. But you can use this for any minor tune that you're working on. Again, you know, maybe you're playing something like Alone Together and you want to start the song, if you're playing it in a medium to fast tempo, you could give the intro this kind of flavour to it. So and that would work just fine for that as well. So that is the third intro, and that's starting on the 1-7 chord, then going up a tone. For intro number 4, we're going up to a sharp 1, major 7, sharp 11. Try saying that one 5 times. A sharp 1, major 7, sharp 11. And you can use this intro on both major and minor key tunes here. So in the key of C, we can start on a C major 7, just a regular C major 7 here, and then we can go to a D flat major 7, sharp 11 like so. So that's how you play that on a major key tune. Perhaps something like Green Dolphin Street would work well with that type of intro. Now if we're looking at the minor variation of that, this time we're starting with a C minor 7 rather than a C major 7, and then going to a D flat major 7 there. So that could work as well. Maybe that could work for Softly's in a Morning Sunrise or something like that. And sometimes these can often work as reharmonizations, right? Especially on a tune like Softly, which has got a lot of C minor. Perhaps you could have the piano player or the guitar player play that. Well, you play the melody, that could work or it could not. I guess you'll have to take these into the practice room and see. So that is the 4th intro there. 1 to a sharp 1, major 7, sharp 11. Intro number 5, we're getting a bit more advanced. So this is a major key intro, and what we're doing here is we've got a G pedal note. So if we're in the key of C, our 5 chord is G, so we're keeping that as a pedal. But underneath the G pedal, we've got a C triad, a C major triad right there, and then we're going up a semitone to a C sharp or a D flat triad. And of course that against a G gives us a beautiful altered chord. But the fact we've got this C with the G in the bass there means that that doesn't really sound like it's resolved. Obviously if you played a C major triad with a C in the bass, that would be a much more predictable sound, which isn't quite as enticing. So in time, this intro sounds like this. For intro number 6, we're talking about how you can create a suspended sound with an intro, and this technique is really popular with jazz guitar players. Joe Pass used this one all the time, as did Barney Kessel. So this time we're in the key of C again, and we've got that G pedal like the previous example, but this time we've got an F triad underneath. So if you analyse the notes of the F triad against a G bass note, we've got 7, that'll be in the key of G we're thinking here, so we're thinking 7, then we're thinking 9, and then we're thinking C, which is the sus, so it's like a sus 9 sound. So this one, there's some nice variations that you can do as well. You can get that sus note, the C note there, and you can move it up a semitone, and then that would give you this sound, which is a really nice dark sound. It's like a flat 9 sharp 11 sound, and that would be. that's a variation on that one. So that's basically intro number 6, which is a suspended chord intro using slash chords. Intro number 7 takes this idea further. We're using the same slash chord idea, but this time we're also going to incorporate a Phrygian type of sound. So we are getting a little bit more advanced here, but bear with me, I'll break this down so you can use this and make it as accessible as possible. So this one starts with a good old G triad. This is again another major key intro in the key of C, but we're starting on a G major triad. Then we're bringing this triad back to an F triad, keeping the G pedal there, coming back to a G triad again, and then we're going to an A flat triad with a G in the bass, which is giving us that Phrygian sound. So in time, this intro would sound something like this. So it's quite a dark sounding intro, and it obviously, compared to the 1625 that we started with, that firmly gives the ear the sense that we're already in C, but this is a much more dark and mysterious sound, but I think you'll agree that this one works nicely. Once again, share your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think of these intros? Are they getting a bit too far out? Do you prefer the 1625, or do you like some of these more adventurous, harmonically adventurous intros? Do share your thoughts and let me know. Alright, so the final intro here is a swing lick in the key of C. You could use this major key intro on a tune like Swing 42, Take the A Train, any kind of up-tempo tune in C. You can use this type of idea. And this is more like a riff or a lick-based intro. Of course, a very good example of a riff-based intro is the classic recording of Autumn Leaves by Miles Davis, where he had that kind of riff in G minor before the song started. So you can always think of like a riff as well. It doesn't have to be chord based. So what I've done here is I've created a little riff in the key of C. So I'll play it first, then I'll break it down for you. So here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so that's how this one goes. So basically harmonically what's been referenced here, the chords are E minor 7, E flat minor 7, D minor 7, D flat minor 7. Then we're going to a G6, stabbing that twice. And then we're going to a G bass note and stabbing that one twice as well. So that's basically how that one goes. So and of course the actual improv itself, there's an E minor triad, E flat minor triad, D minor triad, D flat minor triad. Then we're going to a G6 twice and then a G bass note twice. Alright, but of course you could use any lick that you want and then hit the chords after. So those are the intros that I like to use. They're the ones that I've come up with. What has been your favourite intro? Do let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, what you think of these and how you're going to use them. If you want a PDF with all these intros, which is nicely compiled and logical for you to work on, then please check out the link to my Patreon page below. That way you're going to get a PDF for all these intros and you help support the channel and you help buy my cockapoo some dog food as well. So that's all good. It means I can keep on making these videos. Thanks so much for watching and I hope to see you next time. Take care.